and good Monday morning to you, my toasted sugar pearls of caramel apple cider macarons. Welcome to Monday's weekly reading book review with me, Hallie, who loves books. Anyway, I made it through 3 books this week, all quite substantially different, and can't wait to talk about them with you. So pour yourself a cup of coffee if you should like to talk about books with me, and here we go. The first one I finished, I had just begun last week. This is The Pumpkin Princess and the Forever Knight by Stephen Banbury. This was the one I storied because I loved the dedication to my wife Ashley and our dog Bingo. One of you made writing this book possible. The other one just kind of stared at me the whole time. So guess who's who? I really, really enjoyed this. I would say it was a less gross The Nightmare Before Christmas. That one can get kind of goopy, right? But so there's all the creatures, but without like the horror. So there are mysteries, there are witches, there are banshees, there's the Pumpkin King, and our orphan Eve gets she runs away from the orphanage, and the Pumpkin King finds her and takes her and adopts her as the Pumpkin Princess because she is fearless. So all this stuff doesn't freak her out, but like the vampires don't want her to stay because she's living in the land of the undead. And it was just wonderful. So total cozy, spooky, atmospheric. It is middle grade. I'm not sure I mentioned that. Perhaps you could tell by the title and the cover, but I loved it. Has those cool black borders on the pages and cool little illustrations at the chapter headings, and I adored it. So this is The Pumpkin Princess and the Forever Knight, Stephen Banbury. Highly recommend. It was a lot of fun and spooky without being like, keep the lights on. Okay, the next one I read, something completely different and totally unexpectedly delightful. This is Terry Pratchett, A Stroke of the Pen, The Lost Stories, published posthumously by some researchers who somehow, because researchers do what they do, found that he had written short stories for newspapers while Terry Pratchett was a journalist under a pen name. Maybe that's why, Stroke of the Pen. I don't know. Anyway, the book you might find at your bookstore might be a little different because this was the Indie Bookstore Day limited edition cover. It probably just has a different color cover now, but so good. I don't always love short stories, and I've read only 3 Terry Pratchett books in my life, his novels. And I'm not sure I knew what was going on. I've had extensive conversations about this with various very big fans of Terry Pratchett. And he's amazing and very funny. So I will not speak to his novels. I will speak to this short story collection and say it was surprisingly amazing. One of the greatest books I've read in a long time. I hope I'm not overselling it, but I loved it so much. So each little short story is quippy and ridiculous. I can see where a lot of people perhaps were inspired, or other things. Like one of them felt like the threads of the Truman Show. One of them felt like where Jasper Fforde was inspired for his entire oeuvre. And one of them that was particularly hilarious was like a Wild West story, but it's a small town in Britain. And so, you know, the bad guys are having tea past 9 o'clock at night, and the policeman comes in on a bicycle and ties it up to a hitching post like you would a horse, and it's just funny. It's funny and surprising and quippy and weird. So again, this is Terry Pratchett. Lots of short little, 3 to 5 page stories, and it was just fun. It was fun. Okay, that's all I should probably say about that. Okay, the next one is why today's weekly reading book review is a little late, because I had 30 pages left. I was in the throes of it, guys, and I have my theories. And this is a book that I started a book club at my local stationery shop because I'm incorrigible about books. And so this was October's pick. We're meeting this week, and it was my reread of Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House. Yeah, it's as spooky as that cover is. I love the reread. I remembered a couple things, but it'd been maybe a decade or so since I'd read it. So good. So I can't wait to talk about this with book clubbers at the shop this week. And I did skip the foreword because I didn't want to go in with preconceived notions of what some highly educated somebody or other had to say about it. But it's a classic. It is spooky. Read it with the lights on. Got brave enough by the end of it to finish it. But I did finish it by daylight this morning. So Haunting of Hill House, Shirley Jackson. Her writing is so delectable. I would love to read you this opening paragraph, but I'm not gonna. But you should totally read it. I loved it. And it comes in at like 182 pages. So it is not overwhelming, and it's just so well written. Can't wait to talk about it. Okay. Reading next, we'll see. I did when bookshop.org had their free shipping anti-prime sale. Target audience right here. I picked up Kate DiCamillo's new one, The Hotel Balzaar. A Norton detail. Look at that stunning rose coral cover with shiny gold lettering. See that? Yeah. Shiny. Very trim, very short, middle grade. Probably could be shelved as early readers, but we're gonna call it middle grade. So I'm really excited about this. I read her Puppets of Spellhorst finally. Didn't like the cover. The insides were amazing, so I think this is just gonna be killer. I've heard great things about it, and Kate, can she do any wrong? No. So reading that. Next, I also picked up in that sale Art Club, Dare to Create by Rashad Doucet. This is a graphic novel for middle graders about, are the arts valid? I'm gonna say yeah. So looking forward to that fun read. And for something completely different, been looking forward to this new thriller, The Night We Lost Him by Laura Dave. I read her The Last Thing He Told Me, which was amazing. So looking forward to this one. Again, kind of slim. We're coming in just a little under 300 pages. So that should be a fun, quick read. So, okay, that's my plan. We'll see what actually happens. I've got lots of paintings to do, and I'm waiting for a couple important emails and kind of losing my mind. So I'm gonna go have second breakfast and heat up this coffee, and we'll talk at you later. Let me know, as always, which stories you're loving, reading, watching, listening to, enjoying. I forgot to, can I see it? I'm just peeking behind me and I cannot see it in this shot. But I was also halfway through my re-listen of Allie Millington's Olivetti on audiobook, and the narrators are terrific. So anyway, coffee cheers to you. Hooray for books and stories, and we'll talk later. Okay.